Crom update number 68. And for the second time, I have Jamie Barrows with me. Jamie, I'm glad you can make it this morning.
I'm happy to be here, as always, through the glorious technological battle.
Yes. With the advancement of technology and all of our devices getting more and more obsolete, yeah, it can be very, very frustrating. But we're here, and we're here for a very, very important reason, which is Brutal Blade of Crom
Yes,
#2.
sir.
Now, at the moment that we're recording, I do not have a copy yet. It's en route. So I'm going to actually be a little video editor in my Flash, and put the copy up there, and we're going to flip through it, and I'm going to have you give me a whole bunch of details. But just like Crom, Brutal Blade of Crom #1, I teased. I never showed anything, so that's what's also going to happen with Brutal Blade of Crom #2. But this episode, I am going to go in a bit more in depth into the first issue of Brutal Blade, because I really do want people to get their hands on it and everything. So, man, you have just done an amazing job. And if people don't know, Jamie already is a fantastic indie comic creator. We'll probably even jump into one of his other titles, Sentinel Man. But he's a project lead, which comes with no, it's all no mercy, right?
It's just being a shirter.
Right. It has its challengings, but the challenges are just completely over. They're just the reward is just amazing. So,
Yeah.
Brutal Blade of Crom #1 and 2 being out is just it's amazing. It's glorious. Now, for uh, record purposes or getting people to kind of know the situation, I am and have been working on my own Crom. That's cromthebarbarian.com. And then this YouTube channel doing the updates. But this is not about my Crom. This is about all the Crom brothers in arms here that want to come in. But the story goes this way. Somebody sent me a heads up, like, you got some competition out there. Check this out. And it was a link to the issue #1 of Brutal Blade. And I've said this over and over again. I could not have been any happier. So it just was like, I'm not the only person out here that loves this character, loves the genre sword and sorcery, black and white, and indie comics. So, Jamie and I have, been in touch. Actually got to meet each other at IC3 2025. So that was super awesome. But Jamie, give us a little bit more about who you are and how you've been managing this project and it now being in the wild, since this is after the 18th, or is the 18th of August, the release of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew after I did the first one that I was going to want to do another one, and at some point, it just seemed like the right time to call forth the troops and start getting to work. But what happened was it was a lot of the same folks from the first one, and a couple of others that I had reached out to in the meantime, and then what actually ends up happening, and what's already been announced at this point, is that it's basically there's going to be 2 issues coming out in 2026 or 2025, because it started coming up in conversation in other groups and different kinds of these. We all have these Instagram chat groups, and we're like, hey, I'm interested. Hey, how can I get in on this? Hey, do you have a spot for me? And all of a sudden, I had 2 issues worth, and so. Like you said, the first one's out, and the second one's going to be coming in September. So it all kind of came together, but I've been busy making it happen for sure.
And you've been doing an amazing job, because you have given me, access to the group, and it's really great to see that. And I face the same problem, which is a beautiful one to have when you're a project lead on something you're passionate about, is everybody or so many people wanting to be involved, and it's very hard to say no, right?
Oh yes, that's for sure. I'm not at a point where I feel like I could like, well, okay, make your submission, and then I might deny it. Like pretty much anybody who said I'm interested, if they could get their stuff done at a reasonable timeline, I did set deadlines, but if they could get their stuff done, it's going to be in the books.
Yeah, yeah. I think the magic, and I sent something to you when I saw it in the Instagram chat, is that the Instagram chat is titled with the due date. So you had for issue 2.
Yeah.
So everybody logging in and checking out what's going on, you created that constant reminder that, hey, let's not, rest on our laurels. Let's keep this moving. And I'm assuming everybody did get in on time for number 2, right?
Yes, there was one person who asked for an extension, sort of like, and did it the right way. I just got some stuff this past week.
Cool.
That book's going to be formatted within a week here, and so that'll be sort of like just sitting on the bench waiting to be put in the game for a couple weeks. But I'll probably have PDF. Whatever I want, like sort of like early PDFs for some of the contributors to look at, and links for purchase for certain people named Kurt and others if they want to sort of early access.
Yes, so because I believe I bought 6 copies, and they're on the way to me. But this is the 18th of August, so I have them now, and I have 5 of those copies are in the Crom the Barbarian store, and it's only for domestic U.S. But it was like 2 hours after I made the purchase, I was like, oh man, I checked my backstock, and I literally am down to 1 copy of Brutal Blade #1. So you and I are going to have to figure out how to remedy that so I can get some more issues. We'll talk off camera because I would love to keep Brutal Blade in stock to get, because the reactions to people when I go live stream to give the updates on my Crom anthology, or when I'm just doing hey, these are the books I have, in the Crom the Barbarian store. People just absolutely stop when and seeing the Brutal Blade, and like I said, it's just so awesome to have another group of people just as passionate as myself and the people that I have around me, pushing this forward. So I can't thank you enough for putting the energy and time, not only as the project lead, but also the creator. So what I want to do is I want you to just run down story and artist for Brutal Blade of Crom 2. Can you do that for me, Jamie?
Yeah, so we've got Joseph Leo Leonardo, who's kind of come onto the scene in the last couple years, joined the crew for the second issue. So he starts off the book on the interior with a story of young Crom, which I thought was interesting. Not to immediately go on a tangent in an attempt to answer your question, but I didn't know for sure which comics were going to go into Brutal Blade of Crom #2 and Brutal Blade of Crom #3. Once it became clear that I was going to have enough stuff for 2 issues. So I wanted to lay it all out and see if any themes kind of emerged organically. And one of the themes that emerged for the issue that's coming out, that is out now as we record that, or as this is going to be heard by the public, is Joe, he goes by Leo, who did 6 Lords of Sound. I think you've had him on your Indie Comics Creator show. Yeah, he's a great guy. He did a young Crom story, and then, so that bookends the book at the start, and then Grimothy Ripper did a story that kind of plays with the idea of human Crom becoming God Crom, and that's going at the end of the book. So that kind of creates like these nice bookends. Yeah. Yeah, Grim did a 10-pager, and it's just a kind of wild, very underground style. And then in the middle, we've got Jake Quirk from Australia, great cartoonist from down under. He's back doing a story called The Lion Lord Amra. I did a story called Blizzard of Vengeance. Matt T, who you've also had on the show, who's a great underground comic guy, and he's in with the Power Pulp team. He did a story called City of the Ape God. Alan Robinson, who's another guy you've had on your other show before. He did a comic called
Yes.
Yep, he did one called Song of the Temptress, and I finally got an actual comic page out of my personal friend Claude, who had done sort of like a teaser page in the issue that you're looking at now. I finally got a page of a comic out of him for the upcoming second issue, and the front cover is also by our Australian friend Jake, who's again an amazing digital artist and amazing colorist. And the back cover is actually our collab from IC3, mine
Yes.
and yours, and that's one on the back cover.
Yeah, that was awesome because we had run into each other right at the beginning of the show, IC3, and I was just like, "Hey, man, you get some time," which I didn't think either one of us was going to get any kind of time
Sure.
because it's only a 1 day show right now, IC3. But if you do like some kind of like doodle, throw it my way, and I'll throw some inks and colors on it. We just have some fun with some Crom since we're in the same building. I think you delivered that sketch in like 35 minutes or something. So I was like, man, this guy can. And so I made time. I definitely made time. Kind of hid on the corner of my booth. Let Jake do all the talking. For our turbo pit fighter and for at least 20 30 minutes, but yeah, thank you very much for putting that on the back because I really enjoyed doing that collaboration with you.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I'd never seen. I have a very sort of contrasty style in my inks, and it was really cool because you have a sort of a traditional, more feathery style, and it was really interesting to see my pencil drawing with that style of ink on it. It's really, really cool.
And I had these crazy gel pens I bought, like a 24 pen set from Target, like 2 days before I left, just to play around with it. But a lot of the colors were like
I
sparkly,
know.
like neon pinks and stuff and everything. So I was just trying to goof out, and get something on there. But I think it worked well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think for just doing a little con sketch,
Yep, absolutely.
kind of
It was a
fun.
cool doodle.
So that's the lineup, and like you said, a lot of those individuals are in the first one. Which, as I was saying earlier, I have only showed like page 1, 2, or spreads of the first issue because I really, really, really want people to get a hold of a copy. Add to their collection, and then of course wait for the next one and wait for the next one. Put you on a spot real quickly. Do you foresee this series ending?
Well, I mean, right now I have two Barbarian anthologies planned for next year. So for at least the next year, there's at
Okay.
least two more things. There's going to be another issue of Brutal Blade of Crom, so there'll be a fourth issue in 2026.
Okay.
And then I also want to do a
Nice.
female led Barbarian anthology, same kind of format, magazine format, and I'm calling that Blood Maidens. So that's going to come out kind of as its own one shot next year. So that's my plan for 2026 at least.
Ooh. Is it going to be one character like Crom, or like agreed upon, or is it just anybody can do their own sword wielding babe?
Yep, the latter. Any kind of anything goes.
Okay.
Collection of sort of
Cool.
female driven barbarian stuff.
Well, if I could put my hat in the ring, I would like
Yes, sir.
to do that because I have been working. I've been working on some stuff that, not that it couldn't fit into my crime anthology or the vision curation wise and stuff. But I'm always having these like sidebar conversations with myself about characters, and especially female driven characters, because I do drive Crom's sister Lala in her own storyline. and it might be her. I don't know, but really giving her presence as um, an adventuring hero type for that. And in the story that I have in the anthology #1 for Crom, she actually has Skullbiter.
Nice.
So that's kind of an interesting little twist and everything. But yeah, I just want to go through issue 1 to really tease people out on what 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, what is going on with the Crown Brotherhood under the Brutal Blade. First story is you,
Yes,
Jamie.
sir.
Skullcracker, and man, you just deliver right out of the gate on this. I love it.
I appreciate it. I will say just before I jump into that is that I painted the cover of Brutal Blade 1 just because that's kind of sort of the traditional thing from
Yes.
Savage Sword of Conan. I'm no painter, but I tried to pull it off. So, and then
No, you did.
in that original issue, again, Jake Quirk from Australia, he came up with this like interior cover, and he just like blew me away. I was like, man, you are working too hard for this. So he awesome. You open that cover and you have that in front of you. It's just really incredible.
Yeah, it's hard to shake. If this was on the newsstand somewhere, obviously the the crumb word being there, but picking up the magazine and you do that like, oh, what's this like? Whoa, 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 what's happening?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm in. Like it's really hard. It's really hard to like put this down. So and I keep it very close to me when I'm working on Crom, because there's so many
Yep.
approaches that are varied towards this character, not only story but the style. So that's another reason I'm just really excited to get number
Yep.
two. To watch the game get leveled up, and go from there. And I'm just remembering. I know we did go through, I think more specifically, a couple more pages in your first Crom update. So if people want to check out the link in the description, you can jump over there and listen to Jamie and I gush about Crom the Barbarian and our own just sort of versions and approaches to it. But I mean, just this is like an envious thing. I have to say that I see often in the Instagram uh, group, the Crom feed. Um, the jealousy that kind of can get welled up in the morning and get me riled up in watching you guys make these decisions and hammering them like to the page just totally gets me going, and I just really look forward to more and more of this. Like this page, oh man, this is this sorcerer demon type. I mean, just nailing it.
Yep. I took a lesson from Guillermo del Toro, and that's like no human eyes.
Yes, yes,
That's the gift.
so creepy. Now we got, and this is
Yep.
Jake.
We keep talking about him. Here's his comic from the first one, just incredible.
Oh man,
I
yeah,
love
his
I love his thick boy Crom that he does.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the other thing too is his mastery of the black and white, and then those and then it's almost like spotting
Yeah.
grays,
Yeah.
which is something I've been playing around too. So it's like this, you stretch out on the black and white thing, but then you're using gray to just sort of like, bring things in, and it's just so well done.
He's such a great colorist, and it's really cool to see him sort of do that in black and white too, because he can just go either way. Just it seems like it's effortless for him.
And it probably
It
is.
might be. It might be.
Some people really do get connected with um, a medium. Like mine's really pencil. I just there's something about it's like once I have a pencil moving on a piece of paper, I no longer exist. It's just the pencil and the piece of paper. And I don't ever have like any fears or anxieties or anything, that mediums can have. Like, oh crap, that's too much ink, or oh crap, that's too much blue.
Yeah.
The pencil just kind of moves along.
I'm getting there. And actually, it's funny because I can finish a page and be like, okay, that's a 6 out of 10. But when I'm in it, I don't have a lot of anxieties. Some people do seem to have them about like, should this line be 3 degrees more to the left? It's like I don't really think about those things as I'm working. I just like I've gotten to a point where I get pretty comfortable.
Good, good, good. Yeah. I mean, I think in indie comics, one of the coolest things is the work does look effortless. It looks, and it's almost like a thing now. It's like no longer being amateur. It's indie.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's this kind of, and then all it takes is this leveling up, and because of the internet and Instagram specifically, and following people and maybe getting involved in an anthology, you start taking second looks at other people's work and going, well, how the hell did he really do that?
Yeah.
Let me try that,
Right.
and that happening. And it's just one of those things I think of every time, my own Crom anthology project, but also knowing you guys are out there, doing it yourselves. It's like it's just another group, leveling it all.
Oh yeah,
it's just amazing. Now Matchy, man.
Yep.
Matchy. Mm-hmm.
He's the man.
I got some. Yep, I have. Was it Soraya?
Yep, Soraya. Yeah.
I just ordered one from. Yep, Soraya. I just ordered from Power Pulp Comics.
Yeah, he's Power
so I put my order in. Yep. Let's and I'm gonna link down below for Power Pulp Comics. So if you don't know what that is, you better find out.
Check them out. They're awesome. I'm jealous. I told him I'm jealous, but good for him because he deserves it. Because Matt Chee's been pumping out comics for years now. He's got three or four now, like series of multiple issues, plus doing like anthologies all the time. So that dude makes comics.
Yeah. It's probably like a 1.5 hour a night sleep.
He might be.
and a napper.
He's a napper. He might be. And he's taken sort of like the reins of some of the groups. The old Toilet Crew kind of like he was doing a lot of the behind the scenes work for them, and I think he still does it for Undie Comics, which is a branch off of that group where he's running a Patreon, and I think he's doing a lot of the book formatting and editing and things like that. So that dude is busy all the time.
That's nice. I mean, it's always good to be in something you're passionate about, and then just having all these things to just keep the motivation and keep the word out and the eyes on it.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Momentum.
Then we got Alex Turbin.
Yep, Power Comics legend, Alex Turbin. This was one of my only editorial things. Yeah. He sent in his pages without a title, and I'm like, dude, I got to put a title on here. So that was my only editorial action in issue number 1, really.
And that was and Batlord's his character. Right? I think that's how that rolls.
He's got such a universe of ongoing characters with his random access series that it's hard to keep track of.
Yep. Down below, link, random access. Also, his YouTube channel is usually running during my breakfast. So whatever he's flipping through, or when him and Joe Leonardo get together and they do the East Coast, West Coast. I'm always, I'm getting an education. So, great stuff.
So yeah, Alex Turbin, he was a Power Comics guy. That's kind of where I saw him first. He had done Mutandis as part of the 90s black and white, early 90s black and white comics, indie boom of that time. And then he ended up actually in that Toilet Comics group, but he's been pumping out like monthly comics for years. So he does his sort of his random access, I think, was like a 12-page monthly comic,
Yeah.
and and he does anthologies left and right, and I think he's expanded random access to 20 monthly pages, but he'll have backup stories. I'm actually working on one right now. So he, again, like all of these people, another just nonstop busy guy making comics all the time.
It's passion. We have Alex on quite often. He's almost become our third host on Turbo Pit Fighter, and his he is one of the many that have publicly announced that no matter how much life is going on, how not so much money is being made, doesn't matter. The passion, I have to be involved in comics. So
Absolutely.
and it just comes through, and it's contagious.
Yes. His brain is an idea machine. I'm in a couple group chats, and all of a sudden
Yes.
there's Alex popping up like, what if a building became a demon and had to fight a volcano made of feathers? And it's like, okay, man, go for it.
It's great. It's great. And now we got Alan Robinson. And I just have to say, when Alan sees this, that his leveling up, not only with the Crom work, but his Don't Mess with Tori series,
Yeah.
I really, I just, I love it. I just love what he's doing, and I just love where he's going. So for somebody that who's following his work, I just really, really enjoy what he's doing and how he's going about it.
Yeah, he's just another super committed guy, and he's done a bunch of comics too. He's worked, he's got his Tory stuff printed with Nathaniel over at J.K. Papers, who's another great guy.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
yeah, yep, and he's done a couple of proms now, and he's done a couple of his own. Like he did a Halloween anthology, he did a Christmas anthology. Again, all busy guys.
It's awesome. It's so great. Oh man. So and then you had this is a one page that you put in, the Bloody Axe of Crom.
Yep, that was kind of a doodle. That was something I did early on when I was getting back into doing comics a little bit. I had a bunch of these sort of like pre-made templates. So I was just like, I'm just gonna fiddle with these, and then I had like an empty page, and I'm like, all right, I'll drop it in.
Yeah, no, it was good. And of course we got these classic pin-ups
Yep,
teasing for the next coming issue.
that's my friend Claude. He's a really good artist. Sometimes I have to lasso him and pull him kicking and screaming into drawn comics.
What could be worse than being dragged into making comics? Being dragged into a real job. That's what it
Yeah,
get down
exactly.
to it.
Yep, you nailed it.
Because, and then, of course, this is one of the things. What's happening with Crom right now? Not only specific between you guys and myself, but we also have Jim Gullett's out there. He finally got his first four Crom stories together in a nice little package here. I have copies on cromthebarbarian.com there. Crom being a public domain character is absolutely gorgeous of a
Yes.
model for IP. And you know as well as I do, and I'll keep my rant short, but it just makes it so easy and free to just do it without any of the sort of the crap that we kind of pull on ourselves when we're making our own character,
Yep.
that type of thing. And can I just want you to tell again, why Crom was so appealing out of all the public domain characters, Jamie.
Well, I mean, it started because Savage Sword of Conan are my favorite comics, and I was like, I want to do something like that. I guess I could just create a barbarian. I'm sure, like in my youth, I created
Right?
dozens of different characters. I'm sure there's a barbarian in there. But I started looking
Yep.
online, and then I found Crom, a public domain barbarian, but has the name recognition of the god that Conan prays to. So it's just this perfect.
Yes.
It's this perfect combination of like free use, but also name recognition. And I also love it because
Yep.
there's just enough lore to like give you something to like roll with, but it's also like you're completely free to do what you want because you don't have to be coherent with anything else. You can just tell your little
Yeah.
story. There's enough of a foundation if you're having some trouble, but then you can roll with it. So Crom is just like the perfect storm of all of that.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. The original stories by Gardner Francis Fox and John Guinta, um, you know, I think if these guys were still around, um, they would just be over the moon about what we're doing because they were doing it. They had the same reaction to Robert E. Howard's work, but even because he was like almost 20 years past. I don't know specifically, but what I have kind of put together is that John Guinta and Gardner Fox, you know, probably got some approach to Glenn Lord that took care of initially the estate. And Glenn Lord was very anti comics. That was, you know, because even Roy Thomas had years of trouble with him in trying to convince him. So what do? They absolutely just do the flip. Yeah, we'll just take the God guy that he keeps, you know, saying, we'll make him blonde, you know, and then
Yep.
we'll throw all of this Norse mythology stuff in there and we'll just go, you know.
Yep.
And they were released. They were originally released in Out of This World Pulp magazine. It was like full color insert,
Yeah.
which is just it's just so cool. It's so cool that they did it. But they knew, it's like they knew what they were doing as it was as it was going on in comics and pulps. Like, you know, it's like, let's play. Hey, check this out. You know, what do you guys, you know, it's always been happening. So,
Yep. Yep. And I love that. I love that let's play mentality of it because that's what I find myself saying all the time when I say like, okay, I need to buckle down on my own solo work for a couple months here. I need to do a Sentinel Sam issue, and then somebody will be like, hey, I
yeah.
had an idea to do this comic or that comic, and all of a sudden I want to play in that sandbox. So that's always my
Yep.
mentality of doing these projects.
Yeah, and they call it attention deficit disorder, which I think of now as I think of it as a positive. I am all in on my ADD because I can't, I no longer want to put things down, but I do have myself organized, and I know you and the other guys have, and even the guys that I'm working with, you know, all it takes is just a little bit of discipline and planning, and then
Yeah.
just getting yourself out of one seat and headspace into the other, and having 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours, you know, to push things on paper and stuff. And then, you know, I get up and now I get another cup of coffee and then move on to the next table with, you know, whatever has my attention. So
Yeah, that's right. So here's a page from
I
Nathaniel
totally forgot
J.K.
Nathaniel.
Yep.
I
He
yeah, I totally forgot he's in here.
That's right. In the undergrounds, we kind of all know him as this. I mean, he makes comics, but he's also known as the J.K. Papers guy. So he is just always working with
Yep.
other people's material. So, but he's also like quite a cartoonist in his own right. So I was really happy to get a page from him, and it's a perfect sort of like, you know, to more adventure at the end of the book. Like it's kind of the perfect sort of period at the end of the sentence.
It is. It is. And great back cover. This is you as
Yep.
well.
Yep. Did that.
And this watercolor? This is what or markers?
It is markers, but I think I did have some of the watercolor markers.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was something that
Nice.
I'd done
Nice
kind of,
touch, especially in the
yeah,
hands.
yeah. I had done that sort of randomly before I knew I was putting an actual comic together, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I can just drop that right in. Boom, we've got a book.
And we do. And not only do we have one issue, we have two issues. Flipping through this, literally, it all levels up to issue two. And then there's a three coming in right behind. So I really just wanted to get this recorded before the 18th with Jamie. So when I drop this through the Crom the Barbarian.com, I can push it through my not only my newsletter and emails, but also through my social media. And I know everybody's going to be doing the same who's involved with the Brutal Blade of Crom. But Jamie, I'm going to let you take this from here on out and give everybody just their marching orders and like how to get a hold of this issue, other the first and the second issue, and what else you have in store.
Yeah, so you can grab copies of the Brutal Blade of Crom 1 and I think the Brutal Blade of Crom 2 by the time this posts. My Instagram
Yep.
is the best place. You go to my bio. I've got a link to my storefronts, and you can find copies there. The books have. If you go to my Instagram, also you'll see I link everybody who's participating, and some of those people have copies. Kurt's going to have copies at cromthebarbarian.com.
Yep.
And I've got a lull in my personal schedule, and I'm working on some other projects, and then I'm back into Sam in the fall, and then more Brutal Blade and Blood Maidens in 2020.
Oh man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Jamie, can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this recording and put some promotion out there. And I also can't wait for issue 3, but I'm gonna be patient because issue 2 will be here in a couple days. But by now, this video going up, I will have it, so it should hold me over for at least a week or two. But yeah, this is super awesome, and I look forward to working with you as well. You and I have always chatted here and there about trying to find the time and getting things together. Both of us, as I think many indie creators out there, collaboration, that can be the secret and key to getting things going and getting things done and keeping things moving. So, but other than that, we'll let these good people get over there and buy a copy. Support the brotherhood, and yeah, just stay tuned to us for more updates about Crom. Not only my Crom, for Crom Anthology, which is going to be heading out in October, is what I'm feeling. It's getting closer and closer. It's 220 plus pages. Right now, this is just the mock-up. This is just the mock-up, and you can get a copy of the mock-up. It's going to be a limited edition time. Also available on cromthebarbarian.com. And this is a way to get a little artifact, because when the real deal is out, there'll be no ability to purchase these, and they will be out there in the wild. As I mentioned before, I also have other Crom comics and comics available on cromthebarbarian.com, so you can bundle stuff together, save on shipping and get some things happening and stuff. But last year, I put my Crom, the Barbarian, together, which was 140 pages of black and white sword and sorcery goodness in a magazine format. The original, my 4 stories, the original Gardner Fox Junta, and then an illustrated prose from a pulp manipulated story Fox wrote that I turned into a Crom story. Also worked with 5 just absolutely amazing indie artists: David Molina, Drawn Sword, Ken Landgraf, Adam Dodds, and Jason Schoonover. So, with that being said, if you are here on either cromthebarbarian.com or the YouTube channel, you're in the right place. So just subscribe and be a part of it. So, other than that, Jamie, you got anything else for these good people? Let them get back to reading comics, making them if they choose.
Kurt said he would be in Blood Maidens in 2026, so he's all committed. You all heard it.
I love it. I love it. All right. But Jamie, I will talk to you soon again, and everybody, stay good.